Hello, Ali here, and in today's video we're checking out the Disting NT, which is the brand new module from Expert Sleepers. And Disting is a multi-function eurorack module which in previous iterations allowed you to perform one or two of a number of different functions. The NT, however, is considerably more powerful and allows you to run multiple algorithms simultaneously. There are 12 inputs which can process audio and or CV, and 6 outputs which can output audio or CV. And the module also ships with a breakout which gives you access to 2 more outputs. We have a nice big screen. There is USB, MIDI and audio in and out, and a lot more front panel control as well. So it really is a serious upgrade from the previous Disting modules. And the plan today is to give a very brief overview of how the module works. Then I'm going to check out some of the presets which come shipped with the module, as well as some user presets. And then finally I'm going to demonstrate how you can use the Disting to control multiple parameters with multiple modules in a bigger patch context. If that sounds good, then please stick around. Also, please subscribe if you've not already. And finally, if you do enjoy my videos and you would like to help support my work, then I have a Patreon account where I upload extra videos and sample packs and preset packs. These are also available on my online store. I also have a cassette for sale that you can grab at my Bandcamp. And finally, there are some affiliate links down below as well. So yeah, let's dive into the video. Okay, so here's the Disting NT, and I want to do a brief overview of the workflow, but I would recommend heading over to the Expert Sleepers YouTube channel for some more in-depth tutorials. And I should probably preface this by saying I've only had the module for a week or so, so there's a lot in here that I'm yet to explore. But as you can see, we currently have no algorithms, so we want to go into the menu and add an algorithm. And we have a big list to choose from. Viewers of this channel will know that I'm a big fan of plats, so let's load up the macro oscillator 2. And we have access to all the parameters here. And it's really much easier to navigate in this than it was in the EX. Let's pick the Chord algorithm. I'm going to tune it down. And next we want to take a look at the inputs and outputs. The trigger input is currently set to none, so I'm going to change that to input 1. And then I'm going to change the CV input to input 2. And this means I can use my external keyboard to control the oscillator. Next, let's take a look at mappings. I'm going to do some CV mapping. We can change the parameter in here, so let's find the timbre. And the source, I'm going to make it input 3. Then I'm going to take an attenuator from maths and patch it into input 3. Then finally I want to add an effect, maybe some reverb, so we're going to go back into the algorithms, add algorithm and find the reverb. Now you can hear there's some kind of unpleasant noise in there. That's because we need to change the routing. Currently it's set to inputs 1 and 2. For processing external audio, we want to change it to output 1 because that's where the macro oscillator is going. And I'm going to do that for the left and right inputs. And the outputs are already set to outputs 1 and 2, so let's try that out. And also, because this is a stereo algorithm, I'm going to bring up another channel. Finally, I'm going to add one last piece of mapping in here. Let's maybe the mix. Yeah, the mix would be good. And we'll set the source to input 4. Take another channel of maths. And, oh, input 5. Let's move that back. There we go, input 4. So yeah, there's a really basic patch, really straightforward to set up. And once you've done this, you can then save it as a preset and it will be ready to go the next time you fire up the module. But yeah, that's the brief overview. Now let's get into some of the presets. So when you first get the Disting NT, the temptation is to make a big monolithic self-contained preset, and that's exactly what I did. I created this preset called Mega Chord, which is essentially 4 macro oscillators or 4 plats in chord mode, creating this sort of gigantic mega chord. So I have 4 plats oscillators. Oscillators 1 and 2 are going to output 1, and oscillators 3 and 4 are going to output 2, and then I have them panned here in my mixer. I have 2 envelopes and 2 filters, one for each output. So the envelope there, the sort of slow attack, and the swell of the filter are all coming from the disting. It then goes into a reverb, a stereo reverb, and finally a new algorithm called the Carbonator. And this is like a pitchy, glitchy effect, quite similar to the data bender, but the major difference is you have control over every single parameter. You can set the probabilities for the pitch up, the pitch down, the fifths, the reverse, the glide, the stutter, and you can even change the interval of the pitch movements. So kind of like a data bender, but with total control, and I can definitely see myself using this one a lot going forward. I have set up some macro controls here. The channel 2 in maths is controlling the chord, so we can take it all the way down to just a single note. And channel 3 of maths is controlling the chord type. The waveform. really like the idea that I can make my own presets and store them in here. I can make my own Platts presets and just have them ready to go by loading them up. So yeah, that's my first ever preset. So this preset is called Granulated Piano, and it's one of the ones that ships with the module. And right at the top of the algorithm list it says feed me MIDI or CV gate, so you instantly get an idea of what to do with this preset. And if we click into that, then there's a bit more detail. It says play the piano with MIDI channel 1 or CV gate into inputs 2 and 1. The piano was processed by the granulator, and the granulator input only goes into a reverb. So we get a nice breakdown of the patch, and this is a really nice touch. It makes it a lot easier to use, especially when you're using presets that other people have created. And yeah, the granulator sounds fantastic. That's where all that background atmospheric sound is coming from. Let's load up another preset. Let's try Game of Chance. This preset was made by the Lost Past Society, who's a musician here in Scotland. Go check him out and let's see what he has to say in the notes. We have a self-playing generative patch. Outs 1 and 2 equals melodic outputs. Outs 3 and 4 accompanying drone. Explore the patch and have fun making it into something of your own. So let's find the sound source. It seems to be the Poly FM. Let's dive in and maybe change the instrument. Ooh, I quite like that one. So this definitely demonstrates the power of the Disting NT, especially when it comes to these self-contained patches. Next I want to take a look at how we can use the NT to control other gear in a sort of bigger patch environment. So let's do that. So in this final patch, I'm using the disting to control multiple different parameters within the patch. Firstly, I have a clock output clocking the BeatStep Pro, and I'm using the drum sequencer on here to trigger the macro oscillator 2 or Platts in disting, and that's using the kick drum algorithm, and that sounds like this. And I've mapped channel 3 of maths to control the kick decay. Next, I have a clock output triggering the Archer's Rig from Shackmat, which is a hi-hat module. And I also have an LFO coming out of output 5, modulating the hi-hat decay, which is why we're getting this nice sort of dynamic open-closed hi-hat pattern. Next, I have a shift register algorithm going into the quantizer algorithm, and that is controlling the pitch of Platts. Platts is then going into the MFX, which is running a digital delay algorithm. It's being clocked by disting, and I've also got an LFO modulating the mix or the dry wet control, which is why the delay is sort of fading in and fading out. So in this patch, disting is doing 7 or 8 different things. I've used up all my outputs, so I'm already thinking of hooking up the expander because I'm only using 17% of the CPU. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my first exploration of the Disting NT. In my opinion, this is definitely the most accessible and user-friendly of all the disting modules, and I'm pretty excited about new algorithms being added, as well as exploring the presets made by the eurorack community. If you have enjoyed today's video, then please leave a like and a comment, and I'm going to finish off by throwing some more modulation into Platts, this time into the model input.